Hello everyone, welcome to my queendom. I am your host, Queen Midas. I'd like to begin by apologizing for the loud noise you hear in the background. My heater's running, and yes, it's finally cold in the land of always summer. I love it. I can wear my sweaters and my cute clothes and my boots. So how's everybody doing? I hope that everyone was well and enjoyed their Thanksgiving holiday. I enjoyed mine. I spent it with my children as usual, and it was a hit. We had a great time and the food was wonderful. And I hope that it was the same for all of you. I would like to begin by saying Mayor Brandon Johnson for president. I love that man. He is the shit. If you don't know who Brandon Johnson is, then you need to crawl from under that rock and you need to do some homework, because that guy is definitely for the people. I like what I hear. I like what I see. And he doesn't have any dirt out there. He's just a regular guy who's trying to do his civic duty, and I appreciate him. And if this video ever gets back to him, thank you, Mayor Johnson. Mwah, I appreciate you so much, and keep telling the truth and keep speaking for freedom and equity. We can get equality kind of easy, but equity is something that really matters, and that's what we're going for. Now, you all know I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot tell you what to do with your money. That's just a disclosure. I tell you what I'm doing and what I would do, but not for you to take this as gospel. Do your own homework, do your own research, and follow your own gut. There's a pilot program being rolled out in New York City, and it's called Future First. We've already gathered enough data. We have enough data already out there that lets us know that UBI, Universal Basic Income, is a thing, and it does work. This study has been done in several countries, as well as various cities around the country over the past decade. So we're not confused about what universal basic income is, and we know that it does work. For those of you out there that are not familiar with it and have not heard about it, which I can't imagine how you haven't if you were following the last few elections, because when Andrew Yang was running, he brought it to everyone's attention. He felt like that since we participate in society and the government has decided that it's okay for everyone, not only just small businesses and things, but even your doctors and the government itself, your telephone company, any place you pay bills to, utility companies, mortgage companies, any of those places, anyone that has your personal and private information can sell it to other entities and individuals for whatever price they choose, and they can solicit you. And so that's why we get all those spam phone calls and junk mail and things, because it was a law enacted several years ago when President George W. Bush was in office. He worked to make sure that that was done. And it's been a horror ever since. But Andrew Yang said that given the way that things are going with the economy and with the lack of industry here in the United States, since we are just a consumer nation, that there should be something called universal basic income, which means you're getting royalties for participating in society. And the way that you participate in society these days is pointing and clicking and liking and sharing and subscribing and things of that nature, so that they can help build the AI monster that's being created. So we need to bring Frankenstein to life, And all of us have to do our part to breathe life or breathe the breath of life into this creature. And since we're all forced to do this, in a way we're forced to, in some ways not, but you know, I can understand the argument. We should get a royalty. We should get paid for the information that we have, the preferences that we have, the understanding that we have, and the thoughts that we have, since we put them out online and this AI machine sucks them up. And he's got a point, and I really don't have anything against it. I do have something against how it'll be used and how Americans just seem to, or I shouldn't say Americans, I should say U.S. citizens, because this is a country in the continent of America. We are not America. We are the United States of America. There are many other countries in America. And if you don't know what they are, then you need to go back to geography class. But anyway, universal basic income, I can see it and I can understand why. But like I said, I don't like the implications of how far reaching these people can go with this program. They tested it out on us during the COVID situation when they passed out those checks. They told us, no, we don't need you to do anything, but just stay at home. We have your information. Even though you may not have agreed to it, we have it. We know where your bank account is. If your bank has changed or you need some other accommodation, you can go online and you can double check and you can correct that information right here, and then we'll handle the rest. So they have the ability to just give us money on a whim or at a moment's notice if they need to. No big deal. Just punch in those ones and zeros on a computer and off it'll go to everyone's account. So that's not what the issue is right now. We know that they piloted it. We know that it works. We know that it is effective. We know that it will help. We know that it'll do a lot of things that may need doing in the near future, especially since this holiday season was different from all other holiday seasons in the sense that they usually start hiring for these jobs around September for the holiday season, and instead companies were cutting jobs and putting people out of work just weeks before this all started to kick off. The program Future First that's going to happen in New York City is not one of, it's not far from that. What it is they want us to get used to using crypto. And we haven't really talked too much about that. I have talked about money, and I know I've talked about UBI, but they want to move us over so that they can manipulate us a little bit quicker that way and go ahead and run their different test sequences on us. What they're going to do in New York City is they supposedly randomly lottoed out a group of people, few hundred people, and they're going to give them 12,000 USDC coins. For those of you out there who don't know anything about crypto, there are cryptocurrencies. They call them currencies, but they're not really money. They're ideas. They're not real. They're imaginary. So anyway, the only thing I'm going to say about crypto is if you're going to get into that game, you just need to understand what it is that you're getting into and what kind of a use it has. If you're a gambler, then none of this matters to you and you don't care what I'm saying. But if you're an investor or you're anybody who does care about growing their wealth, they'll be more cautious about this crypto thing, and they will actually do what they can to do their due diligence and their homework on these different crypto coins that you might find yourself investing in. I dabble in crypto, but I'm very careful where I step. So this is not a cryptocurrency. This is what they call a stable coin. A stable coin is a crypto that is backed by something else, like our money should be, but it isn't. So the USDC crypto coin is backed by the dollar. So that means it's tied to the dollar, it's tethered to the dollar. We know the dollar is worthless because it is full faith in the currency or in the money system itself, but it doesn't mean that it has any true value. It's just what people assign it. So the USDC is a 1-to-1 ratio, that coin for $1. So they're essentially giving these people $12,000. But what it is they want to see if they can get them to use crypto more and get used to it, as opposed to using a dollar. Now, I know what you're saying. It doesn't make a difference. What does it really matter? It's the same. You're right. They just want to change the wording within our brain. They want to get us conditioned to this. And so what they have to do is try to change our thoughts about what this is. Even though it's just a dollar, it's just encoded in the computer, and it will no longer be physical. Like I said, and I stand by it, I believe that we will be fully digital by 2030, and carrying any kind of physical cash is going to be illegal and probably punishable by jail imprisonment. They need to track everyone, and no one is excluded. They need to know how much money you're getting, where you're spending it, how you're spending it, and then they can go in and they can tell you further how they want you to spend that money and in what sector of the economy you need to spend it in. It's really, really in depth. It's very technical, so I don't expect that everybody will, understand it fully, but we will do follow-up videos on it. But it's something that is going to roll out, and this is one of the first steps to making sure that people are on board with this. And if they can get enough people successfully comfortable with using the USD crypto, and you can go, if you have a Coinbase account, you can go on there and see USDC, and when you cash out your crypto, you can actually choose to park it there or cash it out to your bank or put it somewhere else. And as long as you don't cash it out of the system, you don't have to be taxed on it. But if you cash it out of the system, that's when taxes occur. And you might want to check and see exactly how much that is. I know the last time that I read about it, it was something like 40+% if you bought crypto and then converted it and tried to get it out of the system within a year. That's how much taxes you were going to pay on it. And if you held it for at least a year, then it would be something like 35%. But this is not a cryptocurrency. This is the actual dollar in crypto form. And it'll be a way for them to manipulate that down. They can either, if they need for us to spend more money, they can pump some into our accounts. If they need to take it away, they can just devalue it and pull it out. We'll be able to fractionalize it, very, very small. And so the implications are for what's going to come from this are kind of terrifying. Some of it good and some of it not so good. I want you to all remember something John, is that his name, John Cuban? Mark Cuban. John, where did I get that from? Mark Cuban quoted, well, I'm going to try to quote him. It won't be specific, but it's along those lines. And you can also go and look it up yourself. But during COVID, he suggested that we could encourage people to spend money if they deposit it into our accounts and put time frames on it. So say you had $1,000 deposited in there from the government and they want you to spend it in 15 days. They can put an expiration date on it and say, well, you know, if you don't spend it in 15 days, you're going to lose it. So it's going to be a way for them to control us wholly and tell us how to spend it. Everybody loves Teladoc. I know I do. I don't have to go in and see my doctor. I can just schedule a video chat and talk to her, and then if she has to write me any prescriptions or check on anything for me, she can just do that and I can pick them up. And they'll have the ability to tie in our medical records with this crypto thing, and say you're not supposed to, maybe your cholesterol's high and you can't have red meat. Maybe you went to the store and you were going to grill that weekend and you wanted to buy some steaks. Well, you get to the counter and you find out, well, you can't buy those steaks because the doctor said that your cholesterol was high, and the government can regulate you if they want to. Not saying that that is what's happening, but that is a strong possibility. Things like that are what can happen in this new crypto world. So when they do move us over, because it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when, they put us from the dollar, from the banking system, because right now they're trying to set up the Fed to fail. They have to have a scapegoat, and they have to sacrifice someone or something, so it's going to be the Fed. And then when the Treasury comes back as the boss, then they can do all of these crazy, wild things. And they can change the way money looks. They're just changing the face and giving it a new look. They're not really changing actually what it is, which is thin air, a magic trick. But they're just going to put a new coat of paint on it and pass it off and make us think that it's, you know, it's going to kind of be the same thing. It's just going to be used in a different way. And unfortunately, it's going to be used as a weapon against us all. The dollar has already been weaponized against the world, and who better to weaponize it against now but their own people? So they're not going to let up on us. We don't know how long the Trumpkins administration will last, but this really has nothing to do with him. This was something that was put into motion long before he was made president, and he was just one of their henchmen or tools that they use to come to the end that they want. When it comes to the economy and what's the word? When it comes to the status of the dollar and the power that it has, it's not going to matter who the president is. It doesn't matter when the next election comes, who the next president is in that sense, because they won't be able to take us back to a gold standard, to a dollar standard around the world. The dollar will never be the world reserve currency again. This is something that is over and done with, and the dollar is dead, and they have to try to revive it in a different way. Now, it's not to say that the presidents in the future aren't going to do good or bad for us, but this is one policy that will be out of their hands. They can't go back and change this. It's going to take dozens of years, decades, before the world trusts us in trade again. And we're still going to have to trade on more comfortable terms that they choose than the terms that we here at what the establishment here would prefer. So that's one thing that you can put your mind at ease about when you go to the polls during the midterms or the presidential elections in the future. It doesn't matter who the president is when it comes to our monetary policy with the world, because it's going to take time and effort and actual actions to get the world to agree to work with us again. The president will basically be more occupied with domestic issues, cleaning up this mess, or trying to help craft policy or encourage policy to change things here in this country, not so much outside the country. We've screwed that pooch, and we're not going to get that back. We're going to be like any other country that's lost the reserve currency status. This will be a local currency, and the U.S. is trying to put it on the crypto board, even though the rest of the world doesn't care because they're not on the crypto board. They're using real assets to stabilize their countries and their economies, and they're not playing this dirty little game with crypto that the U.S. wants to try to play. The U.S. wants to be number one in crypto. Doesn't matter. The world is not competing with us. You can't win at something that no one is competing with you in. So the U.S. is trying to goad the rest of the world, but they're not falling for it, and they don't care. So the currency, which is the money, which is our dollar here in the United States, is already becoming a local currency, meaning it only matters here. It doesn't really matter anywhere else in the world. And it's going to be put on the blockchain, and we will be able to be surveilled without cameras for the rest of our days. That's a bit scary, but that's what's coming. I was probably a little long-winded about this because I kept going over certain facts that I wanted you to really understand and put your mind at rest about. I mean, it's not comforting to know that the government is going to be floating around in our undergarments and checking on every crevice of our beings, but that is what it's happening, and that is where things are going, and there's really nothing that you can do about it unless you leave the country and conform to one of their standards. But if you are going to be here any longer, 20, 30 years, 40 years, you might want to do some homework on what crypto is, and you might want to catch up to speed about stable coins, because that's where it's headed, and that's where we'll be by the year 2030. It's not hard to see, and it's really in neon colors flashing on the walls. So I just wanted to bring that up, clear up some things, let you know what's happening. Maybe you all can go and read and follow the stories. I don't get big into dropping a whole bunch of news and subject titles and all that stuff in the description for you to just gingerly click on and go on about your business. I want you to go and research these things for yourselves. It means more if you take the time to look them up and understand them, as opposed to just taking the little bits and pieces that someone would give and just going with that. So if any of this in the subject matter interests you, or if you want to understand more about it for yourself, I suggest that you go online and you do your homework. I did the same to get this information, and it is out there. So we need to get used to investigating again, especially with this AI nonsense. You know, they're putting all kinds of stuff on the computers and you can't tell if it's real or not. That just means that you need to do your homework. You need to use your discernment and due diligence, and make sure that you're not being constantly fooled. So I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to get on and touch on that and let you guys know the newest crypto information that's going on and how it's going to affect us in the very near future. I'm sure this program that they're going to roll out will be a success, no doubt. This might even be a good time to catch up on your crypto information and maybe purchase something out there that you find is valuable or worthy, or get out of it and stay out of it. It's really up to you. So keep an eye and stay alert. Remember, get with friends, family, those of you, those that you care about, and talk about these issues and find solutions and ways to help you to navigate through these crazy times. And again, like to find solutions to your everyday problems, because that's what it's all about. So, yeah, I kind of botched that at the end, but it's okay. It is getting late, and I'm going to turn it down in a little while. So, have a good night, everyone, and thank you for listening. And I will see you later. Bye.